I can't shake this feeling that we know each other.
We do.
We do?
Picture me, I guess, maybe like 20 years younger, but like this.
Flarsky?
Yeah.
What are you doing these days?
I'm a journalist.
You're a great writer, but sometimes you're a little too much.
I don't think I am too much. I actually think I'm the perfect right portion.
It's really nice to see you again.
Okay.
Crack it down.
I'm okay. Did Boyz II Men just call me a cracker?
Thanks so much for being here. As you can see, I'm wearing the windbreaker that Seth Rogen's character wears in the film, and it's bright and it's colorful and it's very 90s, and I love it. But I also feel like it speaks to the theme of this movie in terms of being unapologetically yourself. Wear what you want to wear, love who you want to love, write what you want to write, say what you want to say, even if you're running for president of the United States of America. Jonathan, how accurate is that? Is that?
I think that's very accurate. Yeah. No, I mean, that was, you know, we tried to make the movie have these universal themes that everyone, no matter what side of the political spectrum you fall on, could get behind. So, yeah, being true to yourself and remembering who you wanted to be when you were younger, that's like a big thing. And the windbreaker's dope. Like, that's also...
Yeah, I want to feel like you had this windbreaker in your closet, and you were like, yeah, let's use that.
I like... As an actor, I rarely come in with any strong opinions, and the only strong opinion I had was I see this character wearing a lot of retro windbreakers.
Starting with the windbreaker.
I did. I worked from the I worked windbreaker inwards.
You know, we're doing this at South by Southwest, and I know Seth and Charlize, you've had some really great films that have played here. And Charlize, you know, did you ever think that you would premiere a film and at the end of the film you'd wind up on stage slow dancing with Boyz II Men while they serenaded you with I'll Make Love to You? Is that like a bucket list for you, checking off?
Hell yeah. Dreams do come true. Yeah, it just took 44 years, but listen, it was worth it. And I don't know, I might be carrying his child, Nathan's child.
I dry humped.
It was a mixture of like him holding me up and maybe making a baby.
I would like to endorse you to be the next president of the United States.
Oh my God.
I almost kind of wanted a Charlize 2020 shirt too. I feel like a lot of people are going to walk out of this movie.
Aww. I'll get you one.
They're going to see you. I mean, what was that like for you, sort of playing a woman that is running for presidency or thinking and contemplating running for presidency, and sort of who did you look to for inspiration for that, and what was that like?
I mean, I feel like I have this general sense that we're just so behind when it comes to this. The rest of the world is beating us when it comes to female politicians and power, and it's always so strange to me when people are like, do you think it will happen? Do you think? I'm like, it better happen, or we're in a lot of trouble.
You've been a great secretary.
A state.
Which state again?
All of them?
So, I mean, I felt like outside of not wanting it to be based on somebody, or I think there was something that we were trying to create that felt like it hadn't happened before, right? So I liked that she was single, that she was in a powerful position and loved her job and was good at her job. It kind of lost herself a little bit, but ultimately doesn't compromise any of her dreams in order to be with the guy who she really loves. And I'm just really proud to be a part of something like that.
Seth, you know, you are the love interest. Was that on your bucket list to play Charlize Theron's love interest in a film?
Yes. It was lovely. If you have a minute.
I actually have 7.
7 minutes in heaven. She's like one of my favorite actors on earth. So just getting to work with people that you admire and look up to and when you get to work with people that were impactful on you before you started acting, it's like always like a real thrill and truly surreal in a lot of ways. So
one of the co-writers of this film, Liz Hannah, I'm a big fan of. She also wrote The Post, and it's such a versatile to sort of write The Post, which is a political drama, and then this political comedy. Is this kind of pairing written into the script? You know, I'm curious to how Seth and Charlize sort of got paired up.
We were paired up, honestly, like it's a script we had been developing for 8 years ago, I think we first got it, and I remember when I read it, I mean, it was much different then, and it's come a very long way, but it was mostly, I was just like, I can only see Charlize Theron doing this role, basically, and I could only imagine being interested in making a version where it was the two of us, and that was mostly it. I was just like, as a fan of hers, I was just like, oh, this was something I would like to watch. So yeah, so we made it happen. I just make movies I want to see.
June and Robbie, let me come back to you. You know, we've seen sort of, you know, the behind the scenes of politicians, of who's sort of on their team. And what did you look to for your characters? Was there somebody that specific that you based it on? Was it an amalgamation of people? Did you get to meet those kinds of people?
There's a million different people. I spoke to a million people.
Yeah, June did a lot
It
of
was
research.
just extensive research.
You don't have to do it.
Yeah, no, people not in the industry. I researched everyone's role because I couldn't understand my own.
I feel so scared.
We did have someone come to set who was the chief of staff to Secretary of State under John Kerry's term, and he was really helpful. John Levine put me in touch with him, so I think I definitely was helped by his, you know, advice on just like the energy and the travel and all of that stuff. But for me personally, it was so easy to understand why I would want her to pursue this and not get sidetracked by Fred Flarsky. There was nothing. Yeah, there was no. I didn't have to really talk to anyone else about that.
You know, Ravi, I feel like it's so interesting because these people, it's almost like the lives they live are somebody else's lives. And like, what was the most interesting thing you learned about that sort of part of politics from playing this character?
Oh man, what a bummer. I don't think I learned anything at all, so now I'm gonna have to make something up.
We really tried to teach a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I really, I mean, the best part of it was actually when I got the role and I got to talk to a bunch of staffers and just learn about their jobs. And I also just heard a lot of really juicy stories, which were interesting. And that's kind of the main thing that someone in my position gets to do. And then beyond that, I just practiced shadowing really powerful white people and not talking. So I was just like 5 feet behind, like taller white people, like holding their things, and then I got arrested a bunch of times because it's scary when you don't know someone.
O'Shea, I got to come over to you. You know, Ingrid Goes West, to a certain extent, it was a kind of a dark comedy, but I feel like this is your first big comedy.
Right.
And you're amazing in it, and you steal scenes.
Thank you.
You know, what was it like sort of, you know, transitioning from like action movies and dramas to something crazy like this?
Well, every film that I've, you know, tried to be in over this time is just to show range, you know, just to show that I'm here to stay. So when you have this type of environment and you got these guys to work with, it's fun, you know. Jonathan and Seth, they gave me, you know, the space to show my creative wings, and they let me get down, and it's fun to have people throw stuff at you, see if you can make it work on the fly. So it was a dope experience.
You know, Boyz II Men, I feel like I am a child of the 90s, and it spoke to me having Boyz II Men in this movie, and I'm just curious, like, where did Boyz II Men, like, where did they come from?
You know, we wrote this kind of party scene into the movie, and we started thinking about people who could have impacted these guys when they were younger, and I have been a huge fan. I mean, when Boyz II Men sang "It's So Hard to Say Goodbye" to Yesterday on set, I was basically weeping. So it just they were like a natural fit, and we reached out to them, and they were down, and they were so much fun, and they were down to play when we got them onto set, and I got a rose last night. Charlize got pregnant. I got